Hello, and welcome back to MetalDisciple.com's Metalheads podcast. My name is George.
And I'm Buke.
And today we've got a very special episode for you. But before we get into that, there's a few things I want to mention. If you heard the George retrospective episodes and find that you can't get enough of that awesome sound, or perhaps you just want to make fun of it with your friends.
Yes, post it to Reddit or Facebook and bash it.
Soon you'll be able to do just that. I took the suggestion of a friend, and I'm currently in the process of making YouTube videos for each and every single song in my collection.
Are you doing lyric videos?
No, God, that would take forever. I counted. There are 117 tracks.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's like a whole lifetime's worth of music.
I don't even think Sentence made that many songs in their career.
I was very prolific in my mediocrity. So, in the near future, I'll be posting full albums worth of songs.
Is there cover art?
There's going to be cover art. I'm scanning it in today.
Yes. Is this the original?
The original cover art with the original recordings.
Oh, man. Is this something you made too?
The art, of course.
Was this early, like, MS Paint?
No, it
art?
it was Photoshop, but it was like, Photoshop 4 or something.
Okay.
Really old.
Was there any clip art involved?
I know, let's see, the first album cover, I took the picture. The second album cover, I took the picture. The third album cover was digital art that a friend of mine who is like an artist, he like put together.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
excited.
I think the rest of them were photos that I took and then doctored. So the different levels of scorn and derision heaped upon me.
So if you have a problem with this artwork now, you can trash that too.
Exactly. So look for that in the coming week or two. I expect it's going to be, I'm still converting all the songs into videos to put on YouTube, and I have to, put them with the album art and then create the videos and then get them all uploaded and tagged and everything. So,
wouldn't that be funny? You've had a metal review site. How many years now? Over 10 years or so.
Yeah.
Different names and iterations. Wouldn't it be funny if all the reviews you've done, your 365 video project, wouldn't that be funny if you posting one of your songs from years ago got the attention of somebody out there who wants to and this is what finally hits. This is what puts you on the map. Somebody's like, hey,
I want to sign you. You're awesome.
That would be a fun twist of events.
That would be strange.
That would be strange. It would all come full circle.
Yes, indeed. Be like those movies where they want to get the old band back together again for one last tour, Anyway, I just wanted to put that out there. I also wanted to mention that last week you brought in for show and tell the Ares Kingdom album Incendiary. I just wanted to let you know that inspired me. I went back out to eBay myself and I bought all 3 albums on vinyl.
Awesome. Awesome. That's awesome.
They're priced well.
They're priced great.
The Incendiary, the one that you brought in, that was $15. I got the first album, Return to Dust, for $12. No, that was $10. And then Veneration, the latest one, was $12.
I love the artwork on that. That guy on the horse with that knight, black and gray. It's really cool. White.
Yeah. So.
Did you buy it from the band?
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
So you did good.
Man, that makes me happy. Just like today's episode.
Yes. Well, we'll get to that.
Yep.
So I was editing this last week's episode, getting it ready to post, and I just kind of noticed something that when I talk about a lot of bands that either you don't know them or you just don't like them because, like you said, you don't really care for black metal, and you're a good sport and you're like, yeah, I can't get into that, or I haven't been able to get into that yet. And listening to that this past week, it sounded to me, it just made me chuckle because it was kind of like the way you say it. It's like it's this puzzle that you haven't quite figured out yet. You're like, I haven't quite been able to get into that yet. Like I just haven't found the key or the right combination to get into this band yet. And I mean, maybe that's just wishful thinking on my part, because that's the way I look at it a lot of times when I'm like, I just don't get this. So anyway, I just had to, I laughed a little while I was editing the episode, and I wanted to mention that.
A great way, because again, with so many starting points, black metal or death metal and some, I think if you dive in at the wrong point where I may have,
Sure.
If you hear something bad, especially, you know, me personally, if death metal or black metal's done bad.
Oh, there's so much of that bad.
It's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad. So maybe
You can easily get turned off to something if you
so
hear
maybe
the wrong
it just
thing.
went over my head.
Yeah. Anyway, this week there's going to be plenty for you to get into, isn't there?
Oh boy, you got that right.
This is going to be the Metalheads Power Metal Spectacular.
So now this is when again, air quotes, this is when the metalheads turn off the podcast now. Because I say that because it seems in the metal world, just like how people are so strongly for black metal, death metal, people feel strongly about power metal also. For it and against it.
Yeah. I know I sometimes come across as giving power metal a bad rap, or that I don't like it as much as the other genres. And so the reason I came up with this idea for this episode was partly because you love it so much, and partly because I wanted to point out that I really do like, and in fact love, a great deal of power metal. It's just that my main focus these days is in a different direction, but I still love and listen to so many power metal bands, and I will prove that today.
So I wanted to ask, you know, before we really get into bands that we like or albums that we, you know, in our top lists that we do, what do you think of the genre as a whole? Because when I was looking at putting this list together myself, maybe I wasn't going back too far. Again, I don't have the years of being a metalhead like you do, but it seemed that real power metal, which what I would say is power metal now, I'm only going back to the late 90s, early 2000s. It was really picking up steam.
Yeah. Well, you can really split hairs on when power metal began, because there's bands from the 80s that people call power metal now, like Warlord, that at the time we just called it heavy metal. In retrospect, some bands have sort of been grandfathered in. But for me, the first band and the first album that I considered power metal was Hammerfall's Glory to the Brave. That came out at a time, you know, it was at the tail end of the alternative grunge thing. Came out at a time when...
That was 97, right?
I think that sounds about right, yeah.
97.
It was right before I moved to Maryland from Michigan. And metal was kind of in a strange place for me at that point. The thrash metal bands had pretty much died out. I hadn't quite gotten into a lot of the death and black metal yet. I was just starting to get into it at that point. And so there wasn't a lot of metal out there that reminded me of the glory days of the 80s. And so I was listening to things like Warlord, Attacker, early Metal Blade bands, trying to recapture some of that feeling from that time. And so I was always looking for new things. And there were a couple of bands that I came across during this period that just blew my mind. That I was like, yes, this is that old 80s heavy metal feeling in a more contemporary music. One of those was Hammerfall. The other one was Blind Guardian. I didn't actually come across Blind Guardian until they were, you know, a good few 4 or 5 albums in, which surprised me because I was...
Yeah, so you weren't into them in 88 or whatever, 89?
No, I've never even heard of them. I was like, wait, what is this? I came across them at Rock of Ages in Garden City, Michigan, this metal mecca of a store that we used to frequent once in a while. It was about an hour drive. And that's where I came across Blind Guardian. It's where I came across Hammerfall. I was just like, what is this? How is there this band that has like 5 albums out already? And they're awesome, and I don't know them.
Especially with your background into, like, you know, fantasy.
Yeah.
I thought you would have, you know, found it, maybe looked at the album artwork and maybe...
Yeah, well, that was basically what got me into them. But, I mean, they weren't in any stores in my town. You know, I had to leave and go closer to Detroit to come across this stuff. So, for me, that's basically, you know, I don't know what I called it at the time. I was just like, yes, this is that return to that early 80s, mid-80s, not exactly thrash, but melodic heavy metal.
That's what leads me into my next question. And what I really has always puzzled me about power metal is, from a lot of posts I read online, posts I see on, you know, tweets and stuff, I personally, just like you, we discussed a couple episodes back and a couple months back when we were going to the record stores, we said that the thing about power metal in this genre that catches us are those choruses, those beats, that
the majesty of it all.
Yeah, it's a great way to put it. But why, I don't know if you've seen, correct me if you haven't, you know, if I'm wrong, if you haven't seen the same negative talk online or about power metal or power metal fans?
Well,
Is it because it doesn't have the growling vocals? Is it because a lot of it's talking about, again, air quotes again, what somebody may think is a cheesy topic, where they're talking about swords and dwarfs and dragons or fantasy stuff or sci-fi stuff, instead of talking about violence and
Satan.
yeah, that type of stuff.
I think there's probably a little of all of that, really. Certainly, there's a rivalry between harsh vocals and clean vocals. You might say that those that can sing do, and those that can't growl. That's not an accurate representation, because I know plenty of people who can do both quite well. But I have seen a lot where people that can sing well look down at people that growl, and likewise, people that growl think that singing is somehow not as cool. For me personally, I have found that there are a number of, you can call them power metal or symphonic metal bands, that take it a little too far for my taste. It's kind of hard to explain. First and foremost, I like metal. And when it goes a little too saccharine, a little too sugary, where it's almost more pop music than metal, those are the power metal bands that I don't care for. I want to say there was a period where that was prevalent, and I'm starting to hear less of that. I think more of the power metal bands are starting to beef it up again, and so I'm happy with that.
Were you talking like the singing style was kind of
Just like way too poppy sounding vocals with way too many keyboards. I'm not opposed to keyboards at all.
I was just about to say that. It's a perfect way to put it.
But when, like I said, it's just kind of hard to describe. It's when I hear, like, Dragon Force, we're going to be talking about them in a bit. I heard their first album, and I was like, wow, that guy can play fast. Is this Journey? You know?
Oh, okay.
Because the singing is just so not metal. Mm-hmm. You know, the music sounds kind of metal, but the singing was just a little too commercial. I'm all fine with clean singing. I love a great metal singer. Give me some Bruce Dickinson. Give me the singers for the two bands we're playing today.
You know, that's a great point. Bruce Dickinson and Iron Maiden, they don't do the growling. They don't do the heavy vocals, but they aren't blasted like I see power metal bands. You know, when I think of power metal bands, I think of the kid at the record store who you've seen, or at the metal festival. He looks, I'm a video game player. I've played D&D myself, but they look like your classic nerdy kid, in a sense. And those are the ones, you see at the record store grabbing the Blind Guardian, grabbing the Hammerfall.
There's a line between cool and campy.
Okay.
And I grew up playing Dungeons and Dragons. I'm all about fantasy and metal. Big Man-O-War fan. So that sort of thing doesn't bother me in any way. I mean, there was a time when I used to yearn for more of that in my metal. So I don't think the subject matter, I mean, some people probably consider the subject matter too campy. But for me, it's just, I don't know, I wish I could think of a good example of a band that just goes too far, that I'm just like, no.
Dream Evil started going there a while for me, if you ask me. Like their Book of Heavy Metal album.
That wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad, but that's kind of started losing me around there. To me, I guess I'd say that was a little campy.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it'll become more clear as we go through this episode, because we're going to be talking about a lot of different power metal bands today. So
definitely, there's no shortage of power metal fans, though. If you look online at these festivals, how they do have like a power metal stage and black metal stage at Wacken and whatever, power metal bands close out these stages just like Immortal does, and they're packing the place.
Sure. All right, well, why don't we get into this power metal spectacular? Power metal is so big and bombastic, I thought it would be kind of cool to double up on everything today. So, normally we have one indie band, today we've got two. Normally we do one classic of the week, today we're each doing two. Normally we do a top 3 of something, today we are blowing this out to a top 15 power metal bands.
Which was hard. Hard to narrow it down.
Yeah, I was going to say, not hard to come up with 15, hard to narrow it down to 50. We actually started at 10, and I was like, I can't do 10. I can do 15, and I'm going to have about a dozen honorable mentions. So, without further ado, let's start talking about this week's indie bands. We've got 2 great bands for you today. A Sound of Thunder from the DC, Northern Virginia area, and Unleash the Archers from Vancouver, British Columbia. You won't leave here today hurting for metal. We're going to play 2 songs from each of these bands. We might as well get started with that. A Sound of Thunder have released 3 albums to date. Today we're going to be playing you some songs from their most recent album, Time's Arrow. They have a new album coming out in I believe it's September, called The Lesser Key of Solomon. Can't wait for that. The band funded this album through Kickstarter. These guys actually were one of the reasons that inspired my previous conversation about who needs record labels. These guys funded their album on Kickstarter and then some, so much so that they're doing a covers EP for their backers and a bunch of other cool stuff. I picked up a Sound of Thunder hockey jersey.
It's nice.
Yeah, it's cool. Let's get into that first song. This is the title track from Time Zero. right. That was pretty epic.
I like these guys.
We'll play another song from A Sound of Thunder in a little bit. First, let's get into some news stories. Unfortunately, we couldn't skew the world to make all its news power metal this week, so we'll have to take what we can get. First of all, the new Judas Priest album, Redeemer of Souls, made it all the way up to number 6 on the Billboard chart. A little further back in the pack was Goat Horror at number 81 with their new album, Constricting Rage of the Merciless. Did you see this thing about the 50-year-old German guy at the Motorhead concert who gave himself a bleeding brain from doing too much headbanging?
Yeah, and this thing got worldwide attention. This thing got, I saw it on Fox News. It was getting it was covered everywhere from Fox News, CNN. I saw it on Bing,
Anytime you can say something in the news that shows how awful heavy metal is.
There's your jumping off point right there.
Yep. Phil Campbell of Motorhead chimed in saying that this was not Motorhead's fault. Well, duh.
Back in the day when you had long hair.
Did I bang my head?
Did you bang your head like these guys you see? Just
yes.
The thrash metal style, whipping your head around.
I think the last time I actually went kind of apeshit like that was at the Megadeth So Far So Good So What tour back in '87. And my buddy and I went to that show, and we banged our head furiously. And the next day we couldn't turn our head.
Funny thing you say that. The last time I left the metal show and my neck was actually sore was a Megadeth show.
Yeah.
It was their Gigantor? It was that they headlined it. It was a Megadeth show. I left and literally the next day, just like that, turning in any direction.
Yeah.
Hurt.
Granted, a good metalhead's got a nice, thick, strong neck, and they get used to that sort of thing. Yeah, so I took a different avenue after that of how I enjoy shows. And when I do find occasion to bang my head, I don't do it to the point of excess where I cause my brain to bleed.
Is it more of a bobbing now?
A bobbing as opposed to my head now moves at the neck. When I was 17 years old, it moved at the waist.
Yeah.
It was a whole body, and the hair's whipping around, and, now I might,
You may lose a hair.
The one that I have left.
The few you have left. You only hope that he had a good time.
To be 50 and still getting into it that hard, props to him, but maybe dial it back a bit.
Do you think he stopped? Like, ooh, what was that?
Got a little bit of a headache there.
Yeah, got a little bit of a headache.
Better have another beer.
Yeah, I'm a little dizzy.
Did you happen to watch the baseball All-Star game this past week?
I watched the Home Run Derby.
Yeah. Did you happen to see the Metallica Sports Center commercial?
Saw it on YouTube.
Yeah, I saw it there first, but I did actually see it when it played. They're getting around, man.
These guys are getting around. Yes, they are.
It was a pretty funny commercial.
Yeah.
I like when the guy comes in, takes the, Kirk has the guitar lessons thing up on the bulletin board, and he takes one of the little tabs and puts his gum in it, and Kirk's all like, "What the fuck, man?"
Oh. Yeah, those guys are getting their name out. They're keeping their name out there.
Yeah.
I think they did something at a Giants game a couple months back. Was it the anthem that they did, or
I don't know. I know they were there.
Wasn't it? I think it was Metallica night.
Yes, they had like various swag and stuff.
Yeah,
picks and inflatable guitars and such.
Good for them.
Yeah. Barb was commenting on how gray Kirk Hammett looks,
but the guy still looks good, though.
I think it looks good on him.
Yeah, he wears it well.
He does. He does. He looks cool. He looks cooler with long gray hair than I'll ever look no matter what. So, speaking of sore necks, I was reading about baby metal because they seem to be everywhere these days. And I was reading how the girls in baby metal, before they were in the band, they'd never heard of heavy metal. My first instinct there is to scream poser and burn something. But it is what it is. And they mentioned how they too had sore necks from trying to play this music and bang their head on stage. They said that, with a little bit of practice, even I could do it without having a sore neck.
Do you think they're the female Ghost now? In the sense that not that they're doing the
That's
stage,
harsh, man.
not that they're doing the stage show that Ghost was, but Ghost was something new. Ghost was something fresh. Do you think that's...
No, I think they're the new Justin Bieber of metal.
Okay.
It's interesting. It's amusing. It's completely fabricated.
Completely.
And it'll be gone. And, maybe they'll do another album. I can't see anything beyond that. The one little bit of power metal news that we do have is that Hammerfall released their second preview video for their new album, Revolution. Have you heard any of this?
I have not.
There's not much to it. I mean, they're talking, but there's like music in the background, and it sounded pretty good to me.
As you'll see when we do our list, I'm a big fan of Hammerfall.
All right, then.
I will be eagerly waiting your new album, of course.
Me too. All right, well, that's pretty much it for the news. Let's talk about a few of the new releases this week. The reunited Dog Fashion Disco is releasing a new album called Sweet Nothings. Have you ever listened to these guys? They're local.
The Other Side Project.
Polka Dot Cadaver. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I prefer Polka Dot Cadaver myself. I listened to a song off this new album, and they're a little avant-garde, the Dog Fashion Disco is. I mean, even Polka Dot Cadaver is a little avant-garde.
I would say so.
I didn't like it quite as much as the Polka Dot Cadaver. But there you have it. If you're a Dog Fashion Disco fan, rejoice! The new album is imminent. Also out this coming week is Fozzy and their new album, Do You Want to Start a War?
These guys, I know who they are. I know, Jericho, the singer. I don't listen to these guys, so
I like them. I only heard about this album coming out in the last month or so, and boom, suddenly it's coming out already, and I'm not sure if I've even got a promo for it yet. I might have seen an email for it this past week, and I just maybe haven't gotten to it yet, but yeah, I've heard nothing off it yet, so I can't say.
Are they that heavy?
Yeah, they're pretty heavy. I mean, It's got, what's his name from Rich Ward from Stuck Mojo? I used to really dig Stuck Mojo back when I was into my new metal rap phase for 5 seconds. Stuck Mojo is about it. The dude plays some wicked guitar, and that's pretty much what brought me to Stuck Mojo.
Is that going to be our next episode?
The Rap Metal Retrospective. That is the day you may come in and put a gun to the back of my head and pull the trigger twice just to make sure.
Hey, we can mention that Machine Head dabbled with it for a second.
This is a thing we do not speak of. We like Machine Head. We like Rob Flynn. We do not say these things about him.
Yeah, we don't.
But yeah, remember when he had blonde hair?
Yeah, and he had like the little twists in his hair.
No, I can't. I can't think about that anymore.
Move on.
Must think of Viking death metal. Okay, how about King of Asgard and their new album, Karg? Not exactly sure how that's pronounced. I really liked their last album. This album, I started listening to the promo, and I didn't care for it too much. So I don't know. Maybe I was in a cranky pants mood that day, but it just didn't sound like I remembered, so I need to go back and listen to that last album and see what's changed.
It's just akin to Amon Amarth.
Originally, that's what I thought, but not so much with this one. The band Monolith, who put out full albums based on one song, they're reissuing their 0 and 2 albums. They're all numbered. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Really cool, like funeral, doom, hour-long songs. I've already got these, but the reissue, figured I should mention that.
Vinyl?
I don't know how, maybe, but I mean, when you've got a 60-minute song,
Sleep Dope Smoker.
I was going to say that was my example of like, I guess you just sort of like fade it out and then fade it back in on the next side. I don't remember.
I don't remember what it does. It's,
I listened to it fairly recently and I didn't pay attention, the side ends and I tend to be doing something else and I didn't notice what happened.
Now I'm going to go back and check it out when I get home.
Yeah. Overkill's new album, White Devil Armory, is finally going to drop. I have a copy of it. I have not had a chance to listen to it yet, so I've heard good things though.
No, you haven't. Have you been as into these guys the past couple of years? Because I remember when Ironbound came out, you were wishy-washy.
I like it. It's still very good compared to some of the thrash albums from other classic bands. I think they've been fairly consistent throughout the years, something that a lot of bands haven't been able to say. So I am looking forward to hearing this new album.
Probably the one band that we see live, and I still don't understand why they crank the damn volume so loud in such a small venue, but
everybody does it.
Yeah.
I mean, hello, Manowar. And the final new release this week is a band called Shamash and their album Contradiction. These guys are from Switzerland, and they play, it's getting so hard to categorize bands these days. It's getting so hard to put people in holes and make them stay there. Black metal, maybe? I'm not really sure. I mean, there's harsh vocals, it's ethereal, it's evil sounding, I've listened to this one, I like it a lot. But what else am I going to say? I don't know. It's new, it's good, they're from Switzerland, it's evil, check it out. Alright, well why don't we get into another song from A Sound of Thunder. This song is called I'll Walk With You. I remember when they put out a casting call for the video for this song, because they needed extras. The song is about zombies, the They were probably watching Walking Dead.
Probably.
Has a very Walking Dead theme to it, zombie apocalypse kind of stuff. This song is a little bit heartrending. It's basically about two people on the run from zombies, a man and a woman. And the singer Nina, she's talking about her significant other that they're, trying to survive with, and how he gets chomped on by zombies. And that impossible decision that they make like practically every week on Walking Dead, the person you love gets chomped on, they're going to become a zombie. Bullet to the head or not? What do you do?
Take him out.
You take them out?
Yeah.
That's pretty cold.
You take him out. You can't let him turn.
Right. Well, the solution in this song is that you let them chomp you and they both walk together. Hence the title, I'll Walk With You. It's a pretty awesome song. Check it out.
We saw it coming from a distance. We heard the screaming on the news. You barricaded all the windows
Well, all right. A Sound of Thunder. I'll Walk With You. Pretty awesome. Let's get to today's centerpiece, our best of list. We each create a list of our top 15 favorite power metal bands/albums. Normally we do a top 3. We just couldn't narrow it down to 3 bands. We couldn't narrow it down to 10 bands or albums. We went with 15. Could have gone more.
Easily.
And I have to admit, you're normally the one that pushes to putting these in order. I found that very difficult. Very difficult. So while these are ranked, it's pretty whimsical.
Okay.
And could change at any time. All right, so we picked band and album. So you mentioned that you're going to have repeat bands. I only did one album, or one band and one album. But you go first.
Yeah, I tried to rank these. Again, I am a big power metal fan. So really hard. So I'm going to start out the band by the name of their self-titled album. The band's name is Falconer.
Hell yeah.
Self-titled album, Falconer. Next on the list, Primal Fear with their album Devil's Ground.
Nice.
Nightwish with their album Once.
You consider them power metal? I consider them like symphonic. Splitting hairs, I know.
Yeah, it was hard.
Right. Okay.
It could have gone either way.
Okay.
Next one, Sonata Arctica, Reckoning Night. Long list of albums I could have chose from. This one I decided to go with. Next is Sabaton, Primo Victoria. If you've never heard these guys, they are a power metal band that take a lot of historical references. World War I, World War II, Vietnam, even earlier than that. That's what their songs sing about. Really cool stuff.
Yeah, good stuff.
Next is a band that actually you and I met, you and I interviewed, Rhapsody, and their
Rhapsody
album.
of Fire, you mean?
Yes.
Wait, no. Luca Turilli's Rhapsody, you mean?
Yes. No, the Rhapsody before that name BS.
The one and only.
Power of the Dragon Flame. Next, one of my favorite singers in the genre, Avantasia. They are the first part, the metal opera. Next, maybe you don't agree with it being so kind of far up on my list, instead of closer to the number 1 or 2, is Blind Guardian, Imaginations from the Other Side.
It's starting to sound awfully familiar.
That one should have been, probably 1 or 2, maybe in some people's eyes. Next, Hammerfall, Glory to the Brave.
Excellent.
We had mentioned that earlier.
And we will be mentioning it again.
That was one of my first introductions to power metal.
Uh-huh, me too.
It hooked me instantly when I heard it.
Yes, classic.
Next, this one's different. This is a French band that had a couple albums in the 80s and then returned in 2001 with their album Cosmovision. Mm-hmm. This is a French band, Nightmare. That album hooks me. Just the track Cosmovision alone, I think, starts off the album. Really good stuff. Next is the side project from, I'm going to say his name wrong, Tobias from Avantasia. This is his project, or Toby, or whatever his name is. Ed Guy, their album Rocket Ride.
Mm-hmm. What number is this?
This is number 4.
Okay.
Sorry, that was number 5.
Okay.
So now this is my top 5 now. That was number 5, Ed Guy, Rocket Ride. Number 4, Dream Evil, Dragon Slayer.
Okay.
This has Chasing the Dragon on it. Man, I can listen to that song a million times.
Uh-huh.
Number 3, the song that has this album has my probably top 3 songs of all time. This is Ed Guy. They released Hellfire Club with King of Fools on it. I fucking love that song. Oh, man, I love it. Number 2, it's a repeat again of a band, but Hammerfall, their album Crimson Thunder.
Okay.
Which has the title track Crimson Thunder, Riders of the Storm. Number 1.
What is your number
this,
one? Drum roll.
This could go, you talk about earlier, Nightwish, splitting hairs and stuff like this. Some people would say, they're just true metal band and stuff like that. Some people could say that they are power metal. It's the American band Iced Earth. This is their album Burnt Offerings.
Interesting. Not where I thought you were going, but I was surprised that they weren't in there, so interesting. All right.
I could go both ways.
You go both ways?
The album, it's looking back on it, probably not a power metal.
Well, I was considering that with them as well. I was like, I didn't include Iced Earth for that reason. I'm like, yeah, they're kind of power metal. They're kind of, I don't know, just metal. Yeah. With everything else that I had on my list, I was like, I'm just going to leave it off. If there's a question, I'm leaving it off.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have put them on number 1. If I was to really...
I did the same thing with my number 1, so don't worry about it.
Okay, so that was it. That was my list again. It was tough. Extremely hard. Each of these albums is the classic power metal album that has one or two songs that hook you, gets stuck in your head. You're saying it over and you're singing it over and over and over again to yourself. Personally, I can't speak enough of these albums. Check them out. You won't be disappointed.
Excellent. Thank you for that.
I had a lot of fun. Probably this was my most fun putting this list together so far. I'm eagerly awaiting yours.
All right. Well, I'm going to admit right now that a lot of yours are on my list. So that's probably a good sign, right?
Yeah.
All right. My number 15 is a band called Lost Horizon.
Oh, man.
And their first album, Awakening the World.
Oh, man. I go with their second album, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, when I got this album, this was, early 2000, like 2001, I think?
Yep.
And it was just phenomenal for the time. I was like, wow, now this is power metal. You know what I'm saying? It's funny, when I was researching my list, did you know that Hammerfall's singer used to be in this band?
No, I did not.
He didn't sing on either of the albums, but when they first started out, he was in the band. So and I thought that was interesting.
Hold on. Now it's bothering me because now I feel that I let myself down. Because their 2003 album, A Flame to the Ground Beneath. Oh, man, I love that album.
Yeah, good stuff.
Let me change my list.
No change backs.
No, damn it. Go ahead.
All right, number 14. This one is questionable. It's sort of a power metal subgenre, if you can even split hairs even further. This is Ailstorm, and their as yet unreleased, but I've heard it, new album, Sunset on the Golden Age. You gotta love pirate metal.
Yep.
And you gotta love pirate metal that's also drinking metal.
Very much so. It's fun to listen to.
And their new song, it's called Drink. I don't know if you've heard this, but it's so catchy and it gets stuck in your head. The chorus goes, "We are here to drink your beer and steal your rum at a point of a gun. Your alcohol to us will fall, 'cause we are here to drink your beer."
Yes.
That's so awesome.
There, let's clang our glasses together.
Indeed. I love it.
Swing from the chandeliers like a bunch of drunken pirates.
Exactly. I've liked some of their previous albums pretty well, but listening to the new album, definitely my favorite from the band. Number 13, Dream Evil and Dragon Slayer.
Yes.
So that's our first duplicate there. We are in agreement. Number 12, Hammerfall, Glory to the Brave. As much as I was talking that up, it's awfully far down the list, but it's on the list. Twice on this list, I had two bands in one position.
Okay.
Because they're related. So number 11, Edguy / Avantasia, Hellfire Club, and the Metal Opera Part 1.
Oh, yes.
So,
Yes.
Again, we are in agreement. Number 10, in George's top 10 list, Sabaton, Primo Victoria.
Yes.
That was their first album, was my first taste of the band. I liked the kind of rough vocals, reminded me of Running Wild, War, Battle. Good stuff. That's,
Great
that's what
stuff.
power metal's all about.
When you first introduced me to these guys and you said check them out, it was, again, how we always would look for something different. Just like you said, it was that, hey, you're turning on power metal, but then he's hitting you with these gruff vocals.
Yeah.
It was cool.
My number 9, I think you're going to smack yourself because I can't believe these guys weren't on your list. 3 Inches of Blood and Long Live Heavy Metal.
No, I was battling myself in the car because it was my number 1. Advance and Vanquish was my number 1.
And then you're just like, nah, screw these guys. I'm taking them off the list altogether.
No. Because
you didn't think it was power metal.
I didn't. I'm in a battle with myself.
Well,
If I put Iced Earth, I don't know why I couldn't put 3 Inches.
I initially was going to leave them off the list as well.
So,
because back with that first album, Advance and Vanquish, they had harsh vocals as well.
and you see they're here at the bottom of my list now.
Yep. And so I was like, it's not technically maybe power metal. I don't know. But, they don't have harsh vocals anymore.
Nope.
It's straight up power metal these days.
And this Long Live Heavy Metal was a great record.
It was.
And that song, Look Out, oh, killer.
And there's a song
Hard
about
work,
hockey.
man. Yes.
So,
If guys ever follow, I highly recommend following Cam Pipes, the singer, on Twitter. Follow him on Instagram. He's always posting cool pictures of himself playing D&D. I say follow him because, like George and I, we are massive hockey fans. He is a diehard Vancouver Canucks fan. On his vest that he wears, it's kind of cool that bands and band members have band patches. He, on his vest, wears a Vancouver Canucks patch. So I thought that's pretty cool. So if you're a hockey fan, follow Cam Pipes. And probably one of the best voices in music, if you ask, in my opinion. The high notes that he can hit, Whew. I'll never forget when we saw them for the first time. But you ever walk over to the merch table, not realizing you're buying something
From a band member?
from a band member?
Yeah.
We saw them, it was back in 2004 or 5 or something like that. And I go and I buy a shirt. I'm like, hey, thanks. And I walk away and
Have that creeping feeling of like,
and then of course I get on stage there and I'm like, shit. Because,
Yeah.
you know, you look at him, he spent 2 or 3 hours just sitting back there running the merch booth.
remember when we saw Suadakra?
Yes.
And we talked to those guys
Yes.
at the merch booth too.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. All right. Number 8. This is another split one. Halloween and Gamma Ray. Halloween's Walls of Jericho. Gamma Ray's Insanity and Genius.
Do you have Halloween on your list again?
No.
Wow.
Why do you say that?
Because you didn't go with Keeper.
No, I didn't. I'm a Kai Hansen fan.
Okay.
So I didn't really care for too much Halloween after he left, which he's on Keeper Part 1.
Not Part 2.
He's not. That's probably why I never cared for Part 2. So Walls of Jericho, Keeper Part 1, big fan of those. Between the two, I went with Walls of Jericho. And then, of course, he went on to do Gamma Ray, and Insanity and Genius was my favorite one from Gamma Ray. My number 7 is a band that it seems very few people have heard of, but when I originally started thinking about this list, I had intended them to be my number 1 because I just love this album so much. This is a Swedish band who put out one album, and then they supposedly started working on a second album, but nothing ever came out. And it broke my heart because I was waiting so patiently for it. Okay, not very patiently. The band is called Twilight Miracle, and the album is called Into the Enchanted Chamber. If you have not heard this album, power metal fan or not, you need to look up Twilight Miracle, Into the Enchanted Chamber. This album fucking kills.
Typing it in my phone right now.
I know I've played this for you.
I know you have. Just reminding myself again.
It's an absolute classic. Maybe someday they'll return. All right, my number 6, Falconer, Chapters from a Vale Forlorn. The second album. First album is good. Second album is better.
Probably some of the best cover art, too, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And the guy is a really cool singer, right? I think we've mentioned it before. He kind of has a
Theatrical.
That's
because he's a theater guy as opposed to
Yeah.
a heavy metal singer. He just happens to sing in a heavy metal band.
Kind of sounds like somebody you hear at your local Renfest on the weekends.
Yes, very much so. Number 5, a more recent band, Powerwolf and Blood of the Saints. These guys, probably one of my favorite power metal bands around these days. They just blow me away.
This is good.
Yeah. They just reissued their first couple of albums in a collection called History of Heresy. Check that out too. Number 4, another one in which we are in agreement. Rhapsody, Power of the Dragonflame. Rhapsody of Whatever is just another example of when bands split up and everybody takes a name, it never works out. I've yet to hear a single band where they splintered, everybody took a piece of the name, and then put out music that was worth anything. So if you're considering doing that with your band, think about that. Think about the fact that nobody's done that and then produced anything that was worth a shit.
Yeah.
So,
Good point.
don't do it. Be together or break up. Top 3.
I'm all giddy over here.
Number 3 is Blind Guardian, Imaginations from the Other Side.
I thought that would have been your number 1.
Nope. Well, it's definitely worthy. I think the top 2 are gonna... I think number 1 you'll understand. Number 2 you may not. Number 2, I picked one band and 3 albums. Because it spans their career. Well, actually it doesn't, but a little bit. Number 2, Running Wild. Their albums... Gates to Purgatory, which was their first album, was when I first got into the band so many decades ago. Under Jolly Roger, the birth of pirate metal, and then Masquerade, one of their, I wanted to say more recent, but it's not that recent anymore, but it's got the song Lions of the Sea, which is just, fuck yeah! So,
Still never toured here in the States, right?
they have not been here since like the early 80s.
Yeah.
That's one band that I really would like to see before I die. Probably never will. I've already said, okay, well, if I have to go to Germany to see them, fine. So be it. I check their webpage periodically. There's never any shows. So, one of these days, hopefully. Number 1 band. Who's it going to be? Guesses.
It's not Manowar.
Yes, it is.
Really?
It is. I'm like looking at you going, you're wearing the shirt.
I see. I know you, and I know that they're one of your favorites. Again, this gets into that.
Are they power
metal or not?
Exactly. Are they true metal? Well, true metal's really just another name for power metal. So, I mean, I think they're kind of interchangeable. Somebody's probably going to blast me going, no, true metal is absolutely different than power metal. But, whatever. I'm not splitting that many hairs. It's close enough. And so the number 1 is Manowar, Fighting the World. What? Not Kings of Metal? No. Fighting the World was my first album that I heard by Manowar. I heard them on that Metal Shop radio show that we were talking about last week. I heard them play Blow Your Speakers. I went out, I got the album on cassette, and I was like, this is awesome. Death to False Metal.
Had you seen Manowar before? Like any of the promo pictures of them with their loincloths and stuff before? And like,
Not until I got the album, no.
you think you would have checked it out? You would have.
Yeah, because I'm like, hell yeah, warriors and
'cause
their loincloths.
I know you're a Conan fan.
Yeah,
so.
man, exactly. So, yeah, and Fighting the World, Blow Your Speakers, Carry On, the ultimate song, Black Wind, Fire, and Steel. How could it not be number one?
I'm a little late to the party on Manowar, so I go with my Versus the World album, but it still has my favorite Manowar song on there, Swords in the Wind.
Yeah, that's a great song.
Man, I love that song.
So, I've had my beef with Manowar in the last year, but, it's like family, you argue with your family, but you still love them. You're not going to kick them out and not be into them anymore,
They'll always be there to comfort you if you really need them to.
Exactly.
When I first met you, Manowar. Do they still hold that special place for you?
They do, but it's a little further back in the heart.
Okay, but before you really used to fly the flag.
Well, the funny thing is that there's when you've been listening to a band for so many decades, they become so ingrained in who you are that you don't have to listen to the albums anymore. You've listened to them so many times that it's just in you.
That's me with Pantera.
And so while I don't listen to them as much as I used to, I still think about them. I can still sing all the songs.
You can still show up outside their apartment and still look in through the window.
Hold up a boombox and play Peter Gabriel. In your eyes. Hey, I successfully quoted the Grandfather Tell Me a Story last week.
Yes, you did.
See, it's all up in the head. All right, well, that was fun.
That was really fun.
Why don't we get into our second band of the episode, Unleash the Archers. I first came across this band last year when a friend of mine told me about them. Unleash the Archers is from Vancouver, British Columbia. When I think of Vancouver, I think of three things: the Olympics, Canucks, and Unleash the Archers. And as you pointed out, 3 Inches of Blood.
And rioting hockey fans.
Yeah, we are committed Cap fans here. We will stomach no Canucks. So the songs we're playing today are taken from Unleash the Archers' 2011 album, Demons of the Astro Waste. I spoke with singer Brittany the other day and learned that there is a new album in the works, and we talked about doing an interview with her when that is a little more imminent, and when I figure out how to do this. I really need to get this tech figured out, because we have all these people that we want to talk to. So I'm definitely looking forward to their new album, because this album fucking kills. This first song that we're going to play, it's called Dawn of Ages. This song, it gets so stuck in my head. I don't even have to hear it. I can just think about it, and it gets stuck in my head. It is so damn catchy, and yet it's heavy as hell as well. This is what quality power metal is all about. So let's check it out. This is Dawn of Ages. All right. Tell me that song is not stuck in your head already.
It already is. You again gave me a little snippet as we're setting up today. Mm-hmm. Hooked me already.
Yeah, definitely check that out. All right. Well, why don't we get into our What We're Listening To segment? What do you listen to this week?
Okay. So what I'm listening to this week on this Power Metal Deluxe Special Edition episode is, George mentioned it on his list, one of the bands, a band by the name of Man-O-War. Their album Versus the World.
Is that really what it's called?
No. Their album Man-O-War and their album Warriors of the World. Songs like Sword in the Wind, Warriors of the World Unite. Great album.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite Man-O-War album. My go-to.
Definitely one of the best Man-O-War albums of the later period.
And also, another one you had already mentioned, probably have touched on this before. Out of every band you've ever introduced me to, this one still takes the top as the most excited I've ever been, the most hooked you've ever got me instantly to a band. This is 3 Inches of Blood, Advance and Vanquish.
Yes.
This is when 3 Inches of Blood still had 2 singers.
Right.
A bunch of this album talks about killing orcs.
You gotta kill those orcs.
You gotta
fucking orcs.
Just destroy the orcs, marching into battle. You get Cam's high-pitched vocals are matched with death growling vocals. Great, guitar and drum work behind it. Just a great album. It is still one of the albums I can go to every day. Listen to it top to bottom.
Excellent.
The track Deadly Sinners, Revenge is a Vulture, Kill the Orcs. Great album. So
awesome.
That's, for this Power Metal episode, that's what I'm listening to this week.
Excellent. Thank you. All right. Well, for my 2 albums this week, the first one is kind of a surprise to me and probably to you, is the new Dragon Force album, Maximum Overload. I've never really been much of a fan. As I mentioned earlier, I was like, it sounds like Journey playing really fast, But I got the promo for this the other day, and I started listening to it, and, it's not bad. What do you think of these guys?
They used to capture me a lot.
Okay.
When Through the Fire and Flames, when that was real big, that song.
Is that the big fast one?
Yeah, that was...
I remember Kirk Hammett going, what the fuck? I can't play that fast.
I can't even remember what the name of that album was. But that song was on Guitar Hero at the time.
Right.
Blew up because everybody was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
Then their next album came out after that. It's like something Sonic. I can't remember.
Sonic Beatdown?
That's it.
Or was that Death Angel?
No, that was them. That was
Was
them.
it
Because
them?
they had kind of like a space girl or something on the front of it. They kind of just trailed off because
It wasn't that engaging.
wasn't engaging. You knew what you were going to get. This super extremely fast playing.
Yeah, maybe it's just because of the theme this week and I was open to it, but I was like, yeah, all right, I'm digging it a little. It definitely pushes the envelope, or rather not the envelope, but the limit of what I'm willing to listen to. The second album that I was listening to this week, kinda power metal, but mostly not. The vocals are mostly harsh. This is Winter Sun and their second album, Time Part 1. This album is just so dynamic. It's huge. It's symphonic, and it's fast, and it's melodic. The fact that it has some harsh vocals in there, well, I don't know. It's still kind of power metal to me. So that's what I've been listening to this week. How about our classics? What do you got for me?
So I was doing research. I was trying to get an exact year because I didn't have it on here. Well, you already mentioned it, so I'm not going to mention it again. Luckily, I put 3 of these down. A couple weeks ago, on one of my classic albums, I had touched on the album by Savatage, their Gutter Ballet album.
Uh-huh.
This one, kind of an early, you could probably say early power metal.
Kinda, yeah.
Hall of the Mountain King.
Yeah.
That's what I was just looking up, from 1987.
I was thinking Savatage when I was making my list, and I was like, I don't know, they maybe went a little more prog, but, it's definitely reasonable to put them in this category.
And then my next one, I had a hard time narrowing down one of their albums to put, because I know for a while they were putting out a bunch of albums, and they were all kind of the same. This is Stratovarius 1996's release Episode. They're one of my favorite metal bands. They kind of lost me there for a while in the 2000s because they kept releasing albums that were just kind of running the mill for them.
Yeah.
But this was a great breakout album for them.
Right on. Yeah, Stratovarius, along with Sonata Arctica, never really grabbed me, but they are great musicians. I can acknowledge that. So, right on. Good choice. My first classic this week is a band called Morgana Le Fay, and it's actually a compilation album. It's called Past, Present, Future, and it takes tracks from, I think it's their first 3 albums. I could have picked one of the first 3 albums and that would have been fine, but because, I don't usually tend to do greatest hits or compilations and such, but this was actually the first album that I bought by the band. This was another one of those Rock of Ages purchases in the mid-90s where I was like, what is this band that looks all metal and I haven't heard them and they have a bunch of albums. And so I picked it up and I was like, hell yeah, this is exactly what I've been looking for here in the mid-90s when everything is Soundgarden and Nirvana. Not Nirvana, he was dead by then, but Pearl Jam and what have you. And just some really good songs on here. I really like songs like Rumors of Rain, Alley of the Oaks, Battle of Evermore, and the massive Symphony of the Damned. So make sure to check these guys out. My next classic for this week, the band didn't start out as a power metal band, but they they broke up for a little while, and they were apart for a few years, and then they came back, and they had a new sound. And in 1988, they put out an album called Thundersteel. This is Riot.
Yep, you had me get this. Good.
Guys, you got it on vinyl just recently.
Yes, I did.
This album blew me away. I mean, I remember buying the cassette, Record Town in Ann Arbor, Briarwood Mall. There was a little bin out front of the store that just had a bunch of cassettes tossed in it, and they were, $5.99 or something like that. And I picked it up, and I'm like, Riot. Not Quiet Riot, okay? Just Riot. I hadn't heard of any of their earlier albums yet. The album art looks like something out of a Marvel comic book.
It does.
Almost like, I don't know, Silver Surfer or something. And I was like, do I get it? Do I not get it? It kind of looked like a knockoff. I mean, a one-word band, Riot. Not exactly, when there's bands coming out like Metallica and Megadeth and Slayer, the band name Riot didn't really inspire confidence. But I couldn't think of anything else to pick up that trip, so I bought it. Holy hell, this album's classic. Speaking from the viewpoint of listening to the cassette, the first side of the cassette, I didn't actually check the vinyl to see if it breaks up the same way, but the entire first side just blew me away. Thundersteel, the title track, amazing. Fight or Fall, another really good song. Sign of the Crimson Storm, that always makes me think of Sign of the Southern Cross. It's the same kind of heavy groove, just massively awesome song. And then probably my 2 favorite songs on the album, back to back, Flight of the Warrior and On Wings of Eagles. Man, if those songs don't get you going, get you pumped up, I don't know what will.
Well, when I get home to take care of my baby, I know what I'm putting on.
Yeah, awesome album. If you haven't heard this yet, make sure to check it out.
And unfortunately, remember we had tickets to go see these guys?
No.
And we didn't have tickets. They were going on tour again, or they were about to.
Yeah, and then
Coming to Empire, and then he died.
Yeah, Mark Reilly died. That was tragic. It was a real loss.
I remember you were really excited about that.
Yeah, that would have been awesome to see him.
Even though knowing our luck, they probably wouldn't have played.
Why is that?
Because remember that always happens. Remember these bands have a catalog. A lot of the old stuff you wouldn't hear. They maybe play a track or two.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. Speaking about concerts and stuff, on this power metal episode, surprisingly enough, I have never seen, well, aside from like 3 Inches and Manowar, I've never seen a power metal band live.
Really?
Yep. I've never seen your Hammerfalls, your Blind Guardians, your any of the Rhapsody.
Yeah, we saw Rhapsody,
but
and Manowar.
But yeah, I've never seen any of these bands at all.
Stick with me, kid.
I know you had a horrible experience at a Blind Guardian show once.
Yes, I went to see Blind Guardian at Jack's, now called Empire, and I think the opening band was some local band, didn't show up, and for whatever reason, they made us wait outside like 2 extra hours past door time in like January. Now, I don't know if you've ever been to a heavy metal show before, but metalheads are not standing outside the show in their warm, toasty jackets waiting to get in. No, they're out there, if in anything, denim and leather brings us all together.
Nice.
But I mean, there were people out there in t-shirts. That's not uncommon. I think I was wearing... Actually, I don't think I was wearing anything. I think I was just wearing a t-shirt because I don't think I had a leather jacket anymore, and I certainly wasn't wearing a jean jacket. So yeah, I was probably out there in a t-shirt for like 2 hours in January, freezing my balls off, cursing the owner of Jack's for not letting us in. I was like, if this was like anybody else, I would have left. But as Blind Guardian, I'm like, when does Blind Guardian come here? I mean, maybe they have since. I don't know, but I'd never heard of them coming. I was not going to leave. And the wait was worthwhile. They did play awesome.
Was it packed?
Yeah, it was pretty packed. I also saw Hammerfall once. Might have been the Iced Earth show that you ditched me for. I think it probably was. Hammerfall was kind of funny on stage because...
Are you serious?
Well, because it was at the Wrecker in Towson. It was a teeny little room. And, these guys have such a big sound. And they were all decked out for, a festival kind of thing. They were in all their battle gear on this teeny little stage. And I just kind of felt bad because I'm like, man, these guys... And they sounded great, but it did almost seem silly in that at the record.
Just play a stripped down set, boys,
Yeah, but hey, got to give them credit for, doing their thing no matter where they are.
It just seems like, I bring this up about not seeing these bands live because we have had such a horrible experience with the venues around here and live sound. Mm-hmm. Especially seeing death metal or other bands. When the sound is done live, it just becomes noise at some point.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see more of these bands live and actually maybe hear a little bit better sound.
Yeah. I know there are some power metal bands that come to Empire now, but I haven't actually been paying attention to the schedule much lately. I don't know, I think I'm getting too old for shows. Don't say it. But it's...
Yeah, I've tried to get you to go to a couple.
It's true. I'm like, I'm too old for this anymore. I can't go and stand up for 3 hours or 4 hours. My sciatica.
I'm not going to say it, but if people hung out with George, he doesn't put up with a lot of... He doesn't have patience for something.
I suffer no bullshit.
Not at all. You make George wait 5 extra minutes. Oh, this is bullshit. This is.
I'm not quite that bad. Am I? I hope not. But once my fuse is lit, it's pretty short.
Yes, and you hold a little grudge.
Yes and no. It's funny. Speaking of that, in the last episode, I was bitching about Metal Hammer and how
your subscription drama.
My subscription drama of when back in April I renewed my 6-month subscription on the iPad and it didn't work. And so here we are in July and I'm like, a couple issues behind now because the app says I'm not subscribed when I am and I have a receipt to prove it. And their support has been dicking me around. If I talked to one person who was reasonably knowledgeable and helpful but couldn't do anything about it, so they passed me off to somebody else who never responded. And so I waited, and I emailed again, and they never responded. And then I bitched about them on last week's podcast, and I waited a little more, and I finally said, all right, last email. This one, the gloves are coming off. The first two, I was very polite. This email, I don't want to say I wasn't polite, but I was like backhand.
Were you an angry typing guy?
I was typing loud. But I was just like, look, I've been trying to get you to do this. You're ignoring me. Does Metal Hammer, the magazine, know that the people that are servicing them, do they know that their customers are getting such terrible service? And by the way, did you know that I have a podcast and a website where I can tell everybody what a shitty job you're doing? Well, just thought I'd mention that. Hope you can get this worked out for me. And I sent the email, and then I go and I check my email, and I had gotten an email from them like 5 minutes before I sent that email. But it was just a bullshit, thank you for being patient email. But still, I felt kind of like a dick then. I'm like, you couldn't have sent this like 5 minutes earlier where I would have seen it before. At least that would have, diffused me for another week.
Now, did that thank you for being patient email resolve your problem?
No, it did not. But at least I'm willing to work with somebody if they're going to be in touch with me. The site was down this week. My web host, the site had 2 issues this week. One of them was that I got locked out of the administration section and I couldn't get into anything. And then later on Friday, the site was actually down. But the company that I use, HostTech is the name of the hosting service, and they are awesome. I will plug them at any chance I get. I have problems sometimes, yes, but, there's always going to be problems. But their customer support is second to none. I email them any time of the day or night, week, weekend, whenever. I'm generally within the hour have an email back from them, at least acknowledging, not an automated email either, but somebody writing and going, hey, try this, or hey, we're looking into it. I always get a response back. And it took like 2.5 days for me to get back into the back end of the site, but I was hearing from them like hourly that entire time. And they were always saying, well, try this. Okay, that didn't work. Okay, try this. So I can't get mad at that. I mean, I was upset about the situation, but I couldn't blame them.
Yeah.
So,
speaking about internet troubles, totally off topic. Maybe we could have talked about this in news. Do you follow Mastodon on Twitter?
I don't know.
Some asshole hacker group hacked into their Twitter account and for literally the full day
Yeah.
was sending out racist
Ooh,
tweets, racist photos.
not cool.
Totally. And I'm just sitting there watching their Twitter followers
Drop.
drop, and I feeling bad because I know you've been victim of hacker attacks.
Yeah, I had
before,
I had my site defaced once.
and I feel bad for these guys because of course it's out of their hands. Some asshole behind a computer screen thinks it's funny
Yeah,
to post this stuff. So
that's just ridiculous.
yeah, that was happened a couple of days ago, but they wrangled it back and deleted all those. Hopefully they get their followers back. I hope, and I wanted to say that I hope that people out there have enough smarts to obviously realize that was not, they even went in and changed their Twitter picture to some online hacking group or whatever. So I hope that people realize that obviously they were losing followers.
Sure.
But I hope people out there realize that, hey, it's not obviously Mastodon.
Yeah. Well, they're a big band. They're a popular band. I'm sure if people don't come around, they'll at least get new followers
Yeah.
very soon. All right. Well, I think we're just about ready to wrap up this week's
man.
episode.
I don't want it to end.
No. Was it good for you? We've been talking about doing a power metal episode for a while, and
Yes, we have.
yeah, even though this is only the 9th episode, but we've been talking about it since pretty much the beginning. So I hope it was all that you had hoped it would be.
It was. I feel bad now that my list, I feel like I let myself down.
What, with Lost Horizon?
Yes.
It's not that big a deal.
Man, that's a good pick though.
Well,
I think I know what I'm listening to when I pull out of here.
right on. All right, well, we still have one more song to play. Before we do, though, I just want to thank A Sound of Thunder and Unleash the Archers for letting us play these songs today. I can't wait to hear your new music, and I hope we'll be talking real soon, just as soon as I figure out how to do that. All right, here we are. This is Unleash the Archers and General of the Dark Army. See you next time.
Later.